Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm on to my next project. I finally saw a way clear that I could get one of these Bosch router tables, and I'm really excited about getting it set up so I can make use of it in my shop. Alright, so I have all the parts laid out here. Got the side panels. I put in the little storage compartment, and on the other side the little cord bracket, so you can wind the cord around. And the first thing that the instructions say is to put on the cast aluminum top. So we're going to go ahead and lift it up there, put in the bolts, see if I can get this lined up. Okay, now that the legs are on, what I'm going to do is set up the plate for the switch and put that on. And there it is, the front electric box is put on with the switch, and it has a nice removable key in it, so if you're not in the shop and you don't want anybody turning on the switch, you can remove that and then put it back in, and she's good to go. Okay, so the next part is assembling the fence, and I mean this is a really nice fence. It's really robust, it's put together well. Seems like everything measures up all right, and I'm going to go ahead and put these in. The next step is putting on the plate, and we're going to do it preliminary. So the first thing they're having me do is take all of these little screws like that and screw the nylon nut all the way on like that. Okay, so the next step is I'm going to put all 8 of these right into the respective spots that are made for them. And these are going to be the adjustment screws you use to make sure that the plate is level with the top of the table. And the plate is what your router mounts to. Of course, your router not included. Okay, so I adjusted each screw and I ran the straight edge over to make sure that the plate was level with the table. Now I'm going to take the plate out and I am going to attach my router to it. But first what I got to do is take off this plate that comes on the router stand. You can also take off your maple handles if you want, but I don't think it hurts anything to leave them on, just in case I need to take them off. I still have the plunge router part for this, but I'm going to use the non-plunge in the router table. Okay, so I've lined up the correct holes on the router mounting plate, and I'm going to make sure that they're nice and tight. Aluminum into aluminum, so don't force too high, or steel into aluminum, so don't force too hard. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to put the router and the plate back in there, making sure that I don't pinch the cord in there. And then I'm going to double check to make sure I'm level. Always. And make sure I don't have to make any adjustments, because I don't want anything ever catching as we move things along there. And that looks good. So now the next step, I'm going to put 4 of these bolts in to hold the router place in place. I can always loosen and adjust if I want, but it seems like we're in a good adjustment spot. And you don't need a wrench. There's a slot right in the bottom there that the nut fits into perfectly, so that you don't need the wrench for that. All right, so the next step, I'm going to come around the other side of the table, and I'm going to install the fence. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug the router plug into my switch. And there's 2 outlets back here. You can hook a dust collector or a shop vac right up to it, and so they turn on at the same time. I use my Cyclone for several different machines in my shop, so I'm not going to hook it up to this to plug it in here. I can just hook it up and turn it on separately. Someday if I get another Cyclone, maybe I will put it somewhere as well. So I'm going to plug this into the back. Everything is secure, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug the router table in. My switch is off. My router switch is on and plugged in under the table. I'm going to plug this into its power source. And I'm going to give it a quick test. I'm going to turn it on and off real quick to make sure nothing hits anything. I'm going to hold the table tight. I'm going to secure it down to something in a minute. Just do a quick test. That is very smooth. Of course, the router is a very smooth router. It's really a good one, the Bosch router. And on the Bosch router table, all that's left is put on the feather boards. I'm going to unplug it for now. All right, so what I did was I took a scrap piece of plywood right here, and I mounted it to this old workmate that I had. I wasn't using it anyway, so it made kind of a perfect stand, and I just bolted the router table to the workmate with the plywood on there. I can't say enough good things about it. I'm going to give it a try on my next project. Hey, thanks for joining me today. Make sure you like and subscribe. God bless.